realized that there was a gap in the marketplace where that gap was let's get into it. There's a difference between someone being a great dancer and someone being a great teacher. But there were people who wanted to like try it to see, is this I've always wanted to do it, but I don't have a safe place. And being in those classes wasn't safe. They're not paid attention to. The person doesn't know your name. The person's not connected to your goal. It's like, oh, you can't dance, and they just keep walking. The reason why ballet stuck out is because ballet taught me more about myself than anything. I could just dance, be free with the other styles because I grew up in it. With ballet, I was having to learn terminology, being the only like Black in the classroom, being curvy, having the breasts, having all of those things. I had to be totally different.
Welcome to Be Real with Sarah, where the B may sting and the real never dies.
Hey guys, it is Sarah Busby. Y'all, we are back with another episode on Be Real with Sarah. Y'all, do y'all like our new setup here? Okay, because we are like, I feel like, again, we are official. Not that we wasn't official last time, but y'all, we got a whole new, I feel like a new home, all right? So y'all know, get comfortable, get quiet, settle down, because we are about to go on a whole new journey. And I'm so excited, y'all, because we got company in the house, in the hive, all right? And y'all know what we do. Welcome to Be Real with Sarah, where the bee may sting, but the real never dies. Oh, I just love when I say it. Okay, y'all, we have an entrepreneur, we have a leader, we have someone that is moving and shaking in her industry, all right? I'm so inspired because as a person, I feel like I have went through my own journey where I feel like some of my dreams have been deferred. But she is one of the ones that is teaching women and people all alike that says, listen, your dreams are not deferred. I've created a place for you to come and live out your dream and really pour back into yourself. You're like, girl, who is that? Well, she is our new girlfriend, y'all, okay? We got to welcome our guest, Janicka Arthur. She is the founder and owner of Art of Eight School of Dance right here in Dallas, Texas.
Thank you so much. That was such a nice introduction. Thank you, everybody. Hello.
Girl, I got to give you your props. I told you. I said, when I saw you, I said, oh, I love to see a Black woman, and we got to keep it real. We are full-figured.
Yes.
Black, beautiful woman leading the charge in our industry, regardless of all the highs and lows. Yes. And I said, oh yeah, we got to talk to her. So how do you feel today? You look good.
I feel fabulous. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it. It's nice to be seen, right? In that way. Let's just be real. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you are behind the scenes, if you will, even though you're in the front of the scenes. It's an interesting dynamic where you are not highlighting yourself, you're highlighting your work, you're highlighting your business, whatever the case may be. And so for someone to recognize you as a person outside of the business is pretty awesome. So thank you.
Absolutely. And here, I like to talk about business, life, and beyond. And I always like to highlight, if I'm going to have an entrepreneur or a professional, I think we have a great job of doing our job, but we don't, again, spotlight ourselves or talk about ourselves. But there was a Janicka before the business.
There sure was.
And we need to talk about that. So tell us, who was her before the big name in the studio?
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I was always me, to be honest. It's interesting. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I am the product of a single mother in the home, right? Let's be clear. I did have my father. He was present, what have you. But my mother was a Mary Kay director. She's been in Mary Kay for over 40-something years.
Okay.
But what was important is that she was always on the road, always on the go. And she wanted me to have a place where I could prosper, I guess. And so she enrolled me in a organization called ETA Theater. They had art, dance, music, all of the things for students to be artistic. And I just fell in love with the dance portion of everything. And so my story, I guess, of me being an individual started there, where I actually was able to learn myself, gain my creativity, my passion, my love for dance sparked right there on the south side of Chicago.
Wow. And you know, we talked about Chicago is like my other little place that I wanted to go to. And I still want to go. They say Chicago it's such a beautiful place in the summer.
Girl, you got to go in the summer.
See?
Listen, if you go in the winter, good luck to you. But no, ma'am, do not go in the winter. Don't even go in the fall. The wind is a mess, but come in the summer for sure.
Come in the summer. Okay, yeah, I'm going to definitely have to ask you what places to go and where to go for the summer. Okay.
I got you.
But I really connect with that because my father passed when I was 12. Mm-hmm. So technically I'm a product of a widowed mom that wanted to see my dreams play out. And so my dream was acting. So that's why I connect so much with you, creating that space like, dang, I ain't gonna never be able to act, but you create a space where, you know, hey, you can still do it no matter the age and what you do. So did you always have a dream of being like a professional dancer, or like where did you see yourself?
That's great. I never wanted to be the dancer. That wasn't my thing. What's very interesting, so I talk about this a lot with my students, is my mother always tried to push me into ballet. So I tell a story, hey, I started at ETA Theater, I started with West African dance with live drumming, live accompaniment. From there, I moved into modern dance, Catherine Dunham technique, Lester Horton technique. These are all styles of dance. My mother's like, hey, Janicka, if you're going to be serious about this thing, honey, you have to take ballet. I was like, absolutely. By the time she got back, I had signed up for jazz class. I was not doing ballet. I refused to put on tights. The idea of going from like live drums, the bass of the music, to going to like classical Beethoven, not my thing, right? So then she's like, Janicka, years down the road, if you're going to do dance, honey, you have to do ballet. I was like, absolutely, Mom. I ended up signing up for ice skating instead. Pre-alpha, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, freestyle 1, freestyle 2, all the things. I just refused. But what ended up happening is I wanted to enroll in Chicago Academy for the Arts. It's a arts high school like FAME in Chicago, where you did your academics from 8 to 1:20 and your art from 1:30 to 6. And you have to do an audition to get into that school. What do you have to do at the audition? Ballet. And so here I am going back and saying, Mom, please, can you please enroll me? And like every mother says, like, I told you so kind of energy, right? I don't know if there's a school for parenting or what
they do the same thing. They do the same thing.
You're right. So I end up going into, Gallery 37, Dance Gallery in Chicago. I was enrolled in there for a little bit of time, getting ready for this audition. Went to the audition, totally sucked in ballet. Let's be clear. They're speaking French. They're talking about, you know, everything was turned out in dance that I've been doing was turned in plie, bent knees, what have you. And so I killed it with all the other stuff. That's my story, right? I did fantastic with the other styles. Ballet, not so much, but they accepted me. I did not go that year because it was $11,000 a year to go to the school. My mother's a single mom. She was like, Janicka, I can't afford it, honey. So I went to another school called Curie Metropolitan. It was a public school. I ended up taking nothing but ballet classes that entire time during that school year, went back, and I was able to get like a full scholarship to the school.
Okay.
So from there, I just took off from there, from being with Alvin Ailey School of Dance, or summer camps in Chicago, being with Gallery 37 in Chicago, being with Joffrey Ballet classes, doing Ballet Chicago, Deeply Rooted Productions, all the things. I ended up getting my degree at Southern Methodist University in dance performance. That's like the trajectory of how things happen for me as far as dance was concerned. But I say that to say, when you're dancing and when you're learning, you have to do auditions. And there were two major things for me. One, my name was Janicka Arthur. So my last name, A, that means I'm always at the beginning of any audition line, right? I'm either gonna be the first, the second, or the third. So I had to be on my P's and Q's always, right? I didn't have a chance to watch everybody else show me for me to learn it later. I had to either know it or I didn't. It was that type of energy. And so that was one aspect of how I felt about being a dancer. But it's because there were other students that didn't get my training, one, and other students that were spending years and hours inside studios but weren't getting the correct training to stay in the audition, and they were getting called out. I was like, I fell in love with the idea of teaching. I was like, I never want any of my students to feel like they've been spending years and time in my studio, but they're not able to get through the audition. And so that's where my passion came into play, where I was like, I don't want to dance. I want to help dancers.
Oh, wow.
In this
Just
field.
to hear that, like all that experience that you have, the curriculum, the education. And then say, yeah, I don't want to be in it that way. I want to teach, pour, cultivate. Yeah. And you said something so interesting because my last name is a B. So even though it wasn't an A, I still was up close.
Always.
And I think that mindset carries on even in business and in your professional life. Like you always got to be on. Like I got to be ready. Like I don't have a blueprint. So kind of taught me, did you in life business, did you see other entrepreneurs or did it come from your family or you just like, I'm the first one?
That's great. I always tell people because my mother was a Mary Kay director, I've been selling since I've been in the womb, right? Mm-hmm. So I had the opportunity to have a front row seat to hear my mother talk to her consultants, talk to her clients, to talk to them about, making sure they felt good, they felt beautiful, and then sell the product. And so I always had that aspect of things. But outside of my mother, no, I didn't have any guidance in business. Even in college, getting your dance degree, they don't teach you entrepreneurship while you're there. I end up learning from an influencer that I end up working for later on in life, but I did have a front row seat in a multi-million-dollar company to sit as a product manager. And so that's how I also learned about business.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And so looking back, talking about yourself now, did you ever think you would be sitting here?
Girl, no. Not in ballet. Like, absolutely not. Like, if someone would have told me that I would have been a ballet instructor, I would have laughed in their face.
Right.
However, I think what sparked that for me is that ballet, because I came into ballet later on in life, if you will, starting at 11, 12 years old in the dance world, that's late. In my world, in Art of VIII's world, that's not late, right? You just could be beginning at 40, so it's fine. But for me, girl, what was the question? Look, I'm thinking all the things.
No, so talking about yourself back then.
Oh, no. So
you are now.
For me, the reason why ballet stuck out is because ballet taught me more about myself than anything. I could just dance, be free with the other styles because I grew up in it. I was 6 years old, whatever. But ballet, I was having to learn terminology, being the only Black in the classroom, being curvy, having the breasts, having all of those things. I had to be totally different. And see myself, look at myself in the mirror and not compare myself to the girl next to me. I had to say, Janicka, it's okay that you don't get this today. Stay with it. Be consistent. I had to really dive deep. And I think that's what I instill in my students. You learn the choreography. Yes, you learn the terminology. Yes, you can put on the pink tights and the leotards, but how do you walk into the studio? What do you say to yourself? And how do you walk out of the studio? How do you dance in the studio? And how do you dance outside of the studio? That's what I care about more than anything.
And I think hearing that, I don't think what you're talking about that you do with your students and cultivating them and speaking to them and speaking life into them, and you tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, do they do that in the dance world, encouraging you and building that confidence in you and all that thing?
It depends on what teacher you're talking about, right? It depends on what the goal is and all that. There's some people talk about beating their students down and all of that. I can't relate to that storyline. I had some really great teachers that poured into me and I had some other teachers that didn't. I know the difference and I know what side of the fence I want to stand on.
I love that. I love it's like being an advocate.
Yeah.
Like being an advocate. If the world is not going to do it, you're going to get that here.
Absolutely.
What I love about just following your story, being a new transplant here to Dallas, one of the number one things that I wanted to make sure that number one priority was build community. New here, had family here, but just don't have a relationship. It's different when you know people, but when you have a relationship with them, it's different because usually we have a relationship with them. It's an opportunity for you to be cultivated and grow.
Absolutely.
And what I've loved about hearing from your students is you have transplants, you have people that have said, I do all this for everybody else, had a dream, and they come into your studio, a part of your life, your community, and they find community, they find family. And that's what drew me to you.
Oh,
seriously.
That's sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that a lot of people ask me, they're like, Janicka, how did you do it? Kind of energy. And the truth is, I just was being authentic. I was just being the advocate, like you said. I guess when I started teaching in Dallas, I was teaching children, and then I had the opportunity to teach an adult class. And that adult class, when I was there, initially, it was just designed for the moms who was like spending time at the studio but didn't have anything to do. And I was like, we can be a little bit more than that. And so from that class that was 2 or 3, years later, it was a packed class where they had to have people waitlisted for my class at a different studio and all of that kind of stuff. And I realized that there was a gap in the marketplace where that gap was, let's get into it. There's a difference between someone being a great dancer and someone being a great teacher.
Yeah.
And you have people who are great dancers that are teaching a class, but they don't have the heart to really teach the beginners.
Okay. Yeah.
They only want to teach the professionals, the one who have like a I want to say an aspiration to be professional, but have the capability to be on stage as a professional. But there were people who wanted to like try it to see, is this I've always wanted to do it, but I don't have a safe place. And being in those classes wasn't safe. They're not paid attention to. The person doesn't know your name. The person's not connected to your goal. It's like, oh, you can't dance, and they just keep walking. And I was like, you know what? That's not my heart. You know what? You can keep all the professionals. You can keep all the great people. You keep them. Bring the others to me. And that's how Art of VIII was started, or that's how I started to cultivate my class and my community. And then we start seeing, one of my great quotes is, the rising tide lifts all boats. Like, that's how that happened, where it's like, okay, let's do this thing then.
Oh my gosh. So when you say let's do this thing, was it like, okay, I'm ready to open up my own studio? How did that come about?
That's great. So I was a subcontractor at a studio while also having a full-time job in the insurance world. I was working as a third-party administrator, or working with a third-party administrator as a liability adjuster. So I handled a lot of your major corporation, their claims, liability claims, whether it be 18-wheeler accidents or product liability claims. They drunk something, got sick, or slip and falls in stores. Yeah. That's what I did during my 9 to 5. I had dance classes at a studio, and then I also was teaching with a nonprofit organization here in Dallas with children to help them meet and learn artistic, lifestyles, what have you. Anyway, while I'm sitting there hating my job and hating life and all of the things, I was like, Lord, what's next? Like, surely this isn't it.
This ain't it.
And I'm making more money outside of this 9 to 5 than I am here. Tell me what's the plan. And there's an attorney just cursing me out on the phone, whatever the case may be. And I am just drawing on a piece of paper while he's talking, because my decision is my decision. Listen, your client is liable. Okay, it has nothing to do with us, right? So anyway, I'm just drawing and I am writing, and I am like, okay, it was a dance figurine at first. And I get off the call and I'm like, Lord, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start this dance studio. And I was like, what are we gonna call it? Where do I go from here?
Where do we go? Mm-hmm.
And so the first initial thought was dance was art. Okay, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then I also wanted something that was going to have my legacy. I do want to get married one day. Anybody listening, if you all are looking, no. Let's be clear.
Okay, she want to get married.
Listen, I do want to get married one day. And so, but I wanted the legacy of my school to have my name. And so Arthur, A-R-T, is a part of it. So I was like, okay, art. So I put art down. And then I'm like, okay, but these are who I serve. I serve students, or I serve women who are either starting for the very first time, or they're returning to something that they love. And I was like, okay, that was one thought. And then I'm like, well, dance is 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody like 5, 6, 7, like, you know what I mean? Yes. So then I put art of a regular 8 down. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and that didn't feel right. And then I wrote the word 8. And I was like, no, that's not it either. And I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, we're going to call it Art of VIII. That makes sense. But then I started doing research in the number 8 means new beginning.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere, Jesus. Okay. I see what's going on here. Got it. So I said, okay, the art of new beginnings, that works for me. But the number 8 mattered to me, but the written didn't work, nor did the number 8 work. And so I was like, what's another way that you could write 8? And then I wrote the Roman numeral 8. And I was like, okay, but I didn't understand at the time why. But I wrote Art of 8, and then I not crumbled it up, but folded it and put it in the bag. Then about 30 minutes, something said, pull it back out. And I pulled it back out, and I said, okay. And he said, write School of Dance down. Because School of Dance wasn't part of it. Initially, when I was thinking business, I was thinking about me independently.
Yeah.
I was going to teach class.
You were thinking too small. He said this is a...
Baby, this is a enterprise.
Conglomerate.
Hell, you know what I mean? We talking global.
Going on the sign.
What are we talking about? We need a school of dance. So that's when I realized it was more than me, and it was more than one style of dance, right?
Yeah.
And it was going to involve not only students, but it was going to also involve teachers. And not only were the students going to be having their new beginning, but teachers were going to be having their new beginnings too, in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
It wasn't until years down the line where I think God, he gives us little nuggets along the way. When I started recognizing that my classes weren't just supporting students in learning technique or being able to pour in themselves for an hour or what have you, but it was also helping them get out of their comfort zones outside of the studio. It was having them realize what was most important to them. So that new beginning wasn't just dance. That new beginning was their and count, if you will, outside of the studio, where people are becoming entrepreneurs. People are deciding to move into new homes or new cities or what have you. Like, they are, in fact, on like that precipice of like something new in their lives. And Art of 8 is, I don't want to say the holding place, but Art of 8 is like that. People call it their sanctuary, or people call it their would you call their arena, where it's like a me versus me situation. That's what Art of 8 is. It's a dance studio that is much more.
I love it. Studio. And what year did you start?
Interesting. I founded it in 2018. Okay. We did not go into practice until 2020 of September. Okay. And during the pandemic.
So your 8th year, you gotta do something. Because my PR mind goes, I'm like, oh shoot.
Come on, PR.
Come on. 8 year, new beginning. Like, you got to do, I'm telling you now, you got to do a whole.
I didn't even think, haven't even been there yet mentally, but yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Because when I hit my 10 year last year, they was like, you better do something. I'm like, nah, you better. 10 years, 8 years, yes, you're going to do it. And I'm going to make sure of it.
Say less.
I'm gonna make sure.
I might call you and be like, "Girl, it's the 8th year."
You're gonna call me year 7 because it's a whole thing. So we got to do a whole little celebration. I need a whole 365 days.
A whole year celebration for the 8th year. Yes,
for
ma'am.
the 8th year. So
yes,
let's go ahead and y'all saw it here. Y'all heard it here. That, so we're gonna have to bring it back for our 8th year celebration. But I think it's amazing. So we're going into 6 years.
Yes.
Of the building, the brick and mortar, etc. Right?
No. Yes, no.
Yes, no.
So I went into entrepreneurship differently, where I actually did not go into a brick and mortar initially, in the sense that, number one, we started in pandemic, we started online first, right? From there, one of my students that was a part of another studio, she was a competitor, if you will, of the studio that I worked at. And I was asking the students one day, I'm like, hey, do you all happen to pass any dance studios along the way? I'm actually interested in doing a project. That student came to me and said, hey, I actually own a dance studio. If you would like to start your dance studio inside of my dance studio, because we're not competitors. She only had children and I had adults. I said, absolutely. So we were there for over 3 years.
Nice.
Then at that point, she said, you have now built what you were looking to build. You all have gotten a certain size. Wow. And we end up moving from her location, and now we're at another location that we're subleasing.
Okay.
So this year, if not next year, we're currently working to get our own studio in DFW.
You know what, listening to you, people don't want to, I love to talk to builders because there's a process to get to that big, to some people, the brick and mortar, the building.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with humble beginnings. You have to be okay with starting small. You even touched, like I even connected with you and you were saying like you were fueling the vision at your 9 to 5. People don't want, they just want to just jump in and just run into it.
Exactly.
And that's lacks humility, pride, all the things. And that's what it really inspired me about that.
At the 9 to 5, when I was working at the other studio, what sparked me or what had me go into entrepreneurship is I started thinking outside the box. People were thinking, okay, oh, you can do a private lesson. Yes, I did private lessons. No, I didn't do private lessons like everyone else. And let's be clear, people who are watching, who are entrepreneurs, if they are saying or considering to put their pricing based off of someone else's pricing, I am telling them to not do that. You don't know what their reasoning is for their pricing or what goals or aspirations they have. My pricing was not everybody else's pricing. It still isn't, just so we're clear, right? But what I'm saying is I started with saying, what is one of the things that our students need or want that this school does not offer? And that is how I started with my entrepreneurship journey, if you will, is because my students were having troubles with turns. They were having trouble with jumps in class, but jumps and turns are only a small portion of the class, only 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I was like, what if I did an entire hour of just turns, an entire hour of just jumps? And so I would then rent out the studio. And then I would then tell my students, hey, from 3 to 4, I'm going to be turning. If you all want to come, you all would end up having to pay me directly. And then that is how entrepreneurship grew.
Yeah.
That, then people wanted to have my shirt, and so they would buy my shirts. Like people wanted to have a video for my classes, so I created videos. It started that way.
Oh my goodness. That I absolutely love, because it sounds like you filled a gap in the marketplace. In the marketplace.
That's the point of entrepreneurship. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Find your niche, find what you can do, what makes sense, and then run with it. And I'm in blue ocean is what they call it.
Oh, wow.
I created my own lane.
Oh, wow. So listening, you just gave a tip to someone that's listening, a professional. What would you tell the person that is saying, man, I love what she's doing. She's building this, this brand, or she has this brand, she has this community's followers. What would you tell them as it relates to if they're feeling stuck or stagnant? Because I teach people here at Be Real with Sarah is going from stuck to momentum.
Yes.
So what would you advise them in this?
You cannot stay there in that stuck mentality. There's no such thing as stuck, right? You have to keep going. Put in one foot in front of the other. Find out what that challenge is and create the solution. You must create it. It's not going to be given to you. No one's going to hand you anything. They say no one's coming to save you. You have to create it. You have to spend time, if that means doing more research, if that means disconnecting from your friends, family around you who are saying what you cannot do. Get around people who are telling you you can.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
You got to cut out the distractions.
Got to.
So I like that you said that answer, talking about going from stuck to momentum. So what I want to ask you is, do you feel like as adults, we just focus so much on our responsibilities, what we have to do, our to-do list, our task, and all the things, that we forget to just be alive, like in the moment?
That's such a good question. And the answer to that is yes. I do think that that is a thing. I think that that is more of a thing than not. I think that we are just in a place as a society, as a whole, as a world, that's just in the cycle of having to just get through day to day, right? And we tend to forget about ourselves, right? Especially if you have a family, especially if you have a job or you're an entrepreneur or whatever the case may be. And so I think what I find beautiful as far as Artist 8 is concerned is everyone that walks in the door has finally said, no more. That's where we are. They're like, you know what? I have given to everyone and everything, and it's now something for me to do. One of my students, I talk about her often, her name's Evelyn. Evelyn said Art of Eight or dance class for her was the only place she could get an ROI for herself.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. No one is benefiting from you taking dance class other than you. So the question is, what is it that you would want to do to fill your own cup and do that? Necessary.
Oh, wow. I love that. That is, I gotta take, I'm gonna steal that. I don't know. Evelyn, I hope you watching, because I'm gonna have to take that. Okay. Because sheesh. I mean, that's true. So I think talking to you, right? Leading this amazing business is something that you absolutely love and enjoy.
Yes.
What are you personally doing to pour back into your cup?
Oh, girl, that's good.
Now, for like, what are you, like, to keep it real? Now, what you really over there doing?
Girl, this is not the season.
What that's a real thing too.
That's a thing.
Ooh.
It's recognizing that it is something that I yearn for and that I want personally. I try to get my little doses when I'm walking through the studio and I hear the drums playing in the West African class. I go and jump and do a 1-2 for a second and then I roll out kind of energy. But for me personally, I haven't had an opportunity to go and get outside of myself as an entrepreneur to be like, what does Janicka want? Because what Janicka wants is to be able to be on the other side of having our own building, having our brick and mortar in Dallas. That would also make me very, very happy to have for our students. So I don't have anything personally, not right now. I don't, but it's coming, I'm sure.
Oh, I told you. Year 8.
Come on,
year.
So I got 2 more years, girl. Wait a minute, Sarah.
Oh, but let me tell you, God can do. Look, I'm the product of a 365. He can do anything.
You are
so
right.
We saying this now.
You're right.
I'm gonna check in with you. Well, I'm gonna continue to always check in with you. But I'm like, hey, remember 6 months ago we were blah 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 blah, and I expect you to give me a list of everything because he can do it.
Yeah, he has a lot of things planned. We haven't released a lot of things that we are doing, but we are moving and grooving. For sure, here in Dallas, and I'm excited about it.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about, what's to come, how people can get involved. What does that even look like?
Oh my goodness. So if you are someone who wants to dance for the very first time or return back to dance after a long hiatus, we would love to welcome you at our VIII School of Dance, where we take ballet, modern jazz, contemporary, tap, West African dance. You learn from the very, very beginning with other like-minded, creatively driven people. We're doing that. We're in studio. We have 5 seasons at our studio. So we are not the studio where you can do just a drop-in class. We're a studio where you're committing. Our classes are 10 weeks in length. And that's different from a normal, I guess, program at schools. Usually you can just drop in and be like, okay, I just want to dance one day, and then you walk away. That's not here, because we want to recognize and really help you grow, help you learn, realize this is what you really want or need. So that's that. We're doing the in-studio. We're also going to be releasing a virtual opportunity for students to come and join us, whether you be in Dallas or New York or Atlanta. You can take classes with us in that capacity. We're having a performance. Our students perform every single year. We are performing on October 24th at the Eisman Theater in Richardson, Texas, 6:30. Tickets are available online now. And then personally, I'll be starting a wellness program. We'll be doing wellness programs inside of corporations here in DFW. So I'm excited about that.
Oh my goodness. Girl, you're doing all the things. You're busy.
Wait a minute. And we're going to be launching our nonprofit this year too. Listen, I'm trying to tell you.
You're so busy. I love it. Now, that's one thing about the building. They got so much going on. Right? They have so much going on. Like, Do you sleep? That's why I asked you. I said, "What are you really doing for yourself?"
And that's the thing. No.
She said, "I'm building so much. I got so much. It's so many windows open."
And one of those questions that I think that you were asking me, off camera or whatever the case may be, is like, how do you manage it all? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's one of those big things that you would tell an entrepreneur or what have you? And there's this book. It's called E-Myth Revisited. Have you ever read that one?
No, I haven't.
It basically, it's that a entrepreneur is divided into three, right? You are an entrepreneur, a manager, and a technician. Yes. And so the thing is, if you're going to be successful, you're going to have to juggle all three of those positions. And so right now, yes, I'm managing the teachers, the studio, and all of that. Yes, I am a technician because I'm teaching in classes 4 days a week, 2 classes a day, that kind of energy. But the entrepreneurial side of me also still has to be cultivated. It also means that I have to be in class, in training, taking school. Like I have to do it for me to be able to continue to be innovative. Because if you're not innovative, then your business dies. And that's something that I'm not willing to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You got to always think of have these ideas, campaigns and things like that. Because you have a community and they want to stay busy just like you.
They want to be busy. They want to do all the things.
They do.
They want, and so there's some great things that I have planned for them and I'm excited for it.
Okay. Well, I got just one level of advice.
Yes.
I want you to take a day to just do something for you. This and this is what people don't, like I said, it looks great and all what you're doing, but there's a season where you're actually building and it's really no time for the owner. It's no time for the founder because
Right.
I'm creating, I'm growing. The bills got to be paid. That's a real whole nother conversation.
Listen, my goodness.
That's a whole nother episode. We have to bring her back on.
Yes,
But the reason being is I got to build, I got to make this money, I got to feed my people, and I just got to have a safe space for my people to come to. So I love it. Thank you so much.
You are so very welcome. Thank you for having me.
You did so good.
Thank you.
Oh, you're a natural. Okay.
Look, thank you.
Y'all, my girl, she is a part of the family. She is not going anywhere. And we want to make sure we support her. So only thing I am going to try to talk to her about is maybe adding some acting because, I may, want to come in and do my little acting or whatever. So if she want to do some little acting class, I'm going to come for real. But y'all, we got to thank her for coming, y'all. And y'all know what we do here. I want you to always make sure that you keep it real, be real, spread the honey, and just be you. Until next time, bye.
Bye.